Hello students, myself Indu Yadav from Samrat Prithviraj Chauhan, Government College, Ajmer. I will continue with my lecture on pheromones. I have already done pheromones part 1. Now I am coming to pheromones part 2. And as I have told in the previous lecture that it is included in paper 18, Animal Behavior, Unit 2, Point 3, and the topic is animal communication through chemicals, in which comes the pheromones. Pheromones are chemicals which help in the animal to communicate. In the previous lecture, I had done the introduction to pheromones, what are they and what is their mode of action and the types of pheromones. Now I come to the next topic, which is the effects of pheromones. The pheromones influence behavior in two ways. If a pheromone stimulates the recipient's central nervous system and produces an immediate change in the behavior, is said to have a releaser effect. And if a pheromone alters a set of physiological reactions in the recipient, which in turn prepares the animal for a particular behavioral pattern, which is then evoked by an appropriate stimuli, the pheromone is said to have a primer effect. And you can see this in the two equations which I have given. In the first one, this is a pheromone and which is received by some animal whose central nervous system is affected, and then the behavior takes place, and this is a little quicker than the second one. In the second equation, the pheromone number 1, it affects the animal pheromone from animal, some number 1 animal, and it affects the physiology of the animal 2. First alters the physiological system of the animal, and then it prepares its nervous system of the second animal, and the appropriate stimuli is released, which affects the behavior. So you can see these two equations which are very clear. Now we'll take the examples of both the effects. Example of releaser effect. In fire ants, pheromones function to activate and guide workers in search of food and new nest sites. Pheromones that produce a simple releaser effect are widely spread in the animal kingdom. Then the example of primer effect. In 1955, S. Wonderly and L. M. Booth, mammalian endocrinologists, discovered that the odor of a male mouse can initiate the estrous cycle in females. A still more surprising primer effect has been studied by Helen Bruce of the National Institute for Medical Research in London. She observed that the odor of a strange male mouse will block the pregnancy of a newly female mouse. The odor of the original male leaves pregnancy undisturbed. There is an evidence that the odor of the strange male suppresses the secretion of the hormone prolactin so that the normal estrus is restored. This is known as Helen Bruce effect. In this, no physical contact is necessary. This effect is seen only up to 5 days after copulation. Now we come to the third point of our lecture, pheromones. It is the glands which are producing the pheromones. Pheromones mostly originate in the definite glands. There is a great variety of such glands, a few of which are as follows. First, male Lepidoptera. This group, it consists of butterflies and moths. Male Lepidoptera are often able to produce scents from glands which are commonly associated with scales. These scales are known as androconia and they often occur on wings. These scent scales have an elongated form and terminate in a row of processes or fimbriae. The pheromones secreted in this structure just evaporate through the fimbriae. You can see the diagram over here. There are scent scales and there are the fimbriae on the scent scales. Males of Anurans have a small amures have a small scent patch on each of the hind wings. These patches contain highly modified structure called scent cups. Each scent cup has a median pore and below each cup is found a scent gland. Scent from the scent patches is dispersed with scent brushes associated with genitalia. In order to disperse the scent, the insect lands with its wings spread and then bends towards one side and the scent organs are brushed. Number 3. In certain insects, there are invaginated glands which open on either sides of the last abdominal segment, as in Plodia. The scent is dispersed by an evagination of the gland. You can see in the diagram there is a canal, and on each side you have an invaginated scent gland, and the dotted line is showing the evagination of the gland. 4. Honeybees have two important glands producing pheromones: the mandibular glands in the head and Nasonov glands in the abdomen. The mandibular gland is a sac-like structure. The duct from the gland opens at the base of the mandible. These glands are well developed in the queen and workers, but generally reduced in the drone. Here you can see the diagram of the mandible and the mandibular pheromone producing gland below on the base of this mandible. Nasonov's gland is found below the integumental membrane between abdominal segments 6 and 7. It is made up of a number of large cells which open to the exterior by small ducts. Number 5. This is scrolling a little bit fast, so I will show you just now. Here. Number 5. Female silkworm emits a sexual pheromone from a pair of sacs called saculae that are found in the last abdominal segment. Then number 6, in ants, following glands are found which secrete pheromones. First is mandibular gland and reservoir, second is labial gland, third is metapleural gland, fourth is Pavani's gland, fifth is Dufour's gland, and sixth is anal gland and reservoir. And you will see I have made a kind of side view of the side section view of the ant, and you can see the glands where they are situated. Whatever the number of the gland is written in the diagram. Like in the number 1 is the mandibular gland, in the head region, and then there are labial glands, and then metapleural glands in the abdomen, and Pavana's gland, and near the anus, on the ventral side of the body, and the Dufour's gland, and the anal gland and reservoir, sixth one. So you can see all these glands which I have shown in the diagram. So this was all about the second topic, which is the effects of hormones, how do they take place, and we had also seen the glands that are producing the pheromones. So this will be enough for today, and in the third lecture of pheromones I will continue with the structures sensitive to pheromones. So thank you for now, and be present in the third lecture of pheromones. Thank you.